Tonight on Sports Saturday, a busy day in T-Town. The Lane Train pulls back into the station for one more year. The Tide and Tigers renew their rivalry on the court. Plus, the Senior Bowl and a parade for the champ. We're going crazy. Hey, Coach, you watch Sports Saturday, right?
I've learned way more than I ever thought I would learn.
That's right. So put your thinking caps on. It's Sports Saturday, and it starts right now. Welcome in, everybody, to Sports Saturday. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Well, Elton John right there. Did you like that?
That was very nice. Good
very nice.
song selection this week.
Thank you. I thought it was good myself. I'm BJ Millican.
I'm Jen Chapman, and as we said in the open, a lot of news today from the sports world. First and foremost, Lane Kiffin will be staying at Alabama. The Tide's offensive coordinator had been rumored to be in the mix for the 49ers OC job. Today, the university released a statement saying that Kiffin would indeed return to the capstone in 2015. In that statement, Saban said he was pleased with Kiffin's decision and that he'll have more opportunities in the future, and he'll continue to work to develop him as a coach. As for Kiffin, he himself praised Saban and said the more time he can spend learning from him, the better coach he'll be. So a lot of people in Crimson very pleased tonight, but would they stay happy when they filed into Coleman Coliseum for a basketball game tonight?
Happy when they got there, and now it depends on how they played against Auburn as far as how they felt when they left. The first meeting of the season, let's head to the floor. Bama has lost 3 straight, needing a win. Watch Justin Coleman heading to the rack. Nice dish to Levi. Randolph buries the tray. A big night for Levi, but Auburn led most of the half. Later, it's going to be another good look, this time from Michael Kesson. Nice pass. Rodney Cooper throws it down. 8 assists as a team for the Tide. Now, tie game, 1:30 to go. Levi Randolph. Oh, captain, my captain. He unties it with the J. 18 for Levi. Auburn tied it back up. So who do you go to in the end? Levi misses, but Cooper there to clean it up. The putback gives Bama a 2-point lead. Auburn cannot get a final shot. The Tide beats Auburn 57-55. The basketball court is painted crimson. Here's a look at some numbers. Levi Randolph, the captain, huge down the stretch. Rodney Cooper as well. Alabama doing a much better job on the boards in this one. They out-rebounded the Tigers 31-29.
Our sports director, Gary Harris, had a front row seat for the game. He's standing by live inside Coleman Coliseum, and that's where we head right now. Gary, what did Coach Grant have to say about this game?
Thanks, guys. You know, the Alabama basketball team only scored 2 more points against Auburn than the football team did. But in both cases, it was good enough to win. The football team 55-45. The basketball team tonight 57-55 over the Auburn Tigers. So Alabama gets a sweet victory here at Coleman Coliseum. Now, this game had a lot of what you expect in a rivalry. It was intense, hard-fought, chippy, couple of technical fouls against Ricky Tarrant. He got ejected in the basketball game. And following that ejection and some free throws, Auburn had a 9-point lead with less than 10 minutes to go. Alabama had only scored 10 points in the second half up to that point, but it actually seemed to ignite the Tide when Tarrant got ejected. The crowd came alive, and Alabama down the stretch made the plays, including a crucial 4-point play, a made free throw, and then a missed free throw, but Levi Randolph got the rebound, put it back up and in, got fouled, made the free throw, and from that point on, Alabama was in the ball game. Now, late it's tied, and against Arkansas on Thursday night, Alabama lost the game in overtime when nobody blocked out on the backside. Against Auburn, a shot by Randolph was missed, but nobody blocked out Rodney Cooper. He put it back up and in for 2. Alabama had the lead 57-55, as you showed in the highlights. Auburn still had a possession with less than 5 seconds to go, but great defense by the Tide. Auburn throws up really what's a prayer, not even close, and the Tide gets a hard-fought 57-55 win over the arch rival Auburn Tigers. Levi Randolph leading the way, 18 points and 7 rebounds for Alabama. KT Harrell, Auburn's fine senior guard, had 22 points to lead the Tigers. Now, Alabama improves with the victory to 13-6 overall, 3-3 in the SEC. Auburn falls to 10-9, 2-4 in conference play. Alabama head coach Anthony Grant about to meet with reporters right now in just a moment. We're going to have all that post-game reaction for you tomorrow night on Sports Sunday, and possibly tonight, if we can get a soundbite edited here at Coleman Coliseum and sent back, we might have some before the end of the show. Again, Alabama beats Auburn 57-55. It was not pretty. in terms of how the game was played, but at the end of the day, it's a huge win for Anthony Grant and Alabama. Reporting live from Coleman Coliseum, I'm Gary Harris. Back to the studio.
Wow, fantastic report, Gary. Let's talk more about SEC basketball today.
That's right. Top-ranked Kentucky took their 18-0 record to Columbia, and the Gamecocks looking good early. Sindarius Thornwell buries that one. Love his name, by the way. The early lead with the tray, but stop me if you've heard this, Jen. Kentucky is really good.
Never heard that before, ever.
Devin Booker led the way with 18 for the Cats. Kentucky moves on to 19-0 with a 58-43 win. Frank Martin not happy. Here's a look at the SEC scoreboard. Some great games today. Florida's loss against Ole Miss drops the Gators to 10-9. Yikes. Billy Donovan's crew having a tough year. They are up next for the Tide at Coleman on Tuesday night.
Well, the Alabama women's team will be without 2 of its players for 2 games after Thursday night's fight in their game against Auburn. Christy Curry added an additional game suspension to Brianna Hayden and Maya Shanti Knight for their involvement. Well, college football players are also fighting, but this is a little different. For a chance to impress NFL scouts this week in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, the Senior Bowl took place today at Ladd-Peebles Stadium down in Mobile. 4 Crimson Tide players, including that guy, Blake Sims. He got into the game in the second quarter to raucous cheers. His first pass, a dart to Tyler Lockett of K-State. Then Blake, watch him. He's going to show his elusiveness. Get out! He gets out of trouble for the big run right there. A big day for Blake.
Then it's an Alabama-Auburn connection. Watch this. Yes, you just heard right. Alabama-Auburn. Sims with the perfect throw to Sammy Coates in the end zone.
It's a catch, right?
And,
in college.
It would be because he got it out. So say it's not. The North wins it 34-13. Sims was asked what he hopes he showed this week to these NFL scouts.
That I have a good arm. I can hit any route. I got good speed, and I am really a quarterback. I think I took it to full advantage of all the reps that I got, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to play and show some of these coaches that I'm a competitor and I'm willing to do whatever.
Here are some notable stats. Sims finished with 50 yards passing, 23 rushing. Auburn's Cameron Artis Payne with 43 yards rushing. Nick Marshall, who moved to corner and led the South with 5 tackles. And Homewood's own Amir Abdullah, playing for the North, won the game MVP with 113 all-purpose yards. So great job for those guys. Hopefully they'll make it. We'll find it out in the spring if they make it to the NFL.
That's right. We're not making it to the NFL, but we are making it big when we come back. We'll try not to deflate your mood.
I see what you did there.
When talking about the NFL. It's something I know will not leave you feeling flat is Deontay Wilder, unless he punches you, I guess. Next up, we'll show you the highlights of his homecoming parade and hear from the champ himself. We hope you come back after the break. Welcome back. You know, we're used to seeing him in pads, but Alabama cornerback Tony Brown used his leaping skills today in Nashville with the Tide track team. Brown won the 60-meter hurdles race with a time of 7.89. I don't know a lot about track, but that is really fast because it was 7th in Alabama history for that event.
And that was his debut.
That was his debut,
wow.
So not a bad debut for that guy. Nick Saban, very glad to have him in the secondary for a couple more years.
And we were very glad here in Tuscaloosa today to have the heavyweight champion of the world back in his hometown. He was honored with a parade and a celebration at the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. Today, besides smiling and waving at the crowd, he had an inspiring message for T-Town's youth, telling them to believe in themselves. Something that clearly isn't a problem for Deontay. He was asked about who he wants to fight next.
Tyson Fury. I've been calling him out years and years. You know, I think he's one of the exciting guys over in the UK, and I'm doing my thing here in the US of A. And I think UK versus USA, that would be a great clash between me and him. And boxing definitely is well alive now.
Deontay's expected to take a little time off to let his broken hand heal and, of course, make the rounds in public appearances.
It's great for Deontay. Now, there's a chance that if you've been alive at all the last week, you've heard all the puns about deflated balls that you can handle, so I'll spare you another one, but I will say that the Patriots had a ball today answering questions about Deflategate. So go ahead and roll the video. While the NFL has said that the Patriots are fully cooperating with the ongoing investigation into whether or not the Pats deflated 11 of their 12 game balls in the AFC title game, Bill Belichick spoke today and was adamant that his organization is innocent.
At no time was there any intent whatsoever to try to compromise the integrity of the game or to gain an advantage. Quite the opposite. We feel like we followed the rules of the game to the letter in our preparations, in our procedures.
Tune in tomorrow to Sports Sunday, and we're going to talk to former Crimson Tide receiver, current Seattle Seahawk, Kevin Norwood in our Sunday chat. We may ask him about Deflategate. Now, that's going to be tomorrow at 10:13 right here on WVUA.
Well, there's nothing deflating about Alabama gymnastics on Friday night. They took down their nemesis, the top-ranked Florida Gators at Coleman Coliseum. The two teams have combined for the last 4 NCAA championships. The Tide and Gators tied on the vault and floor, but Bama would outscore the Gators on beam and bars. Just a week after the Tide struggled on the beam, Coach Dana Duckworth praising her team for their focus to stay in the moment. Here she is now.
So proud of having over 13,700, screaming fans. It makes a difference, the energy that they bring. And just the way everything kind of turned out tonight. We weren't perfect, but we kept saying whatever happens, the next second is more important. And I think they did a great job in displaying that.
The Tide is back in action on the road against Kentucky on Friday night.
And we still got a little more Sports Saturday to come. Big time stuff coming up. It's only January, but we're pulling out the gloves and the bats and talking Tide baseball. That's right. Hear from Mitch Gaspard as the Tide hits the practice field in Hoover for the first time. That's coming up after the break. We're back on Sports Saturday. So is Alabama baseball. The Tide practiced for the first time today in their home for the 2015 season, the Hoover Met. Coach Gaspard and his crew excited to get the year started. We'll hear from them tomorrow on Sports Sunday. But we have fresh off the presses Anthony Grant sound from tonight's win over Auburn.
Levi, Coop, really our whole team made plays down the stretch to be able to get it done. A really odd situation there with Ricky being ejected from the game. Obviously, at the beginning of the game, situation with talking, I think, on the court, and then at the end, inadvertent elbow caused him to miss it. I thought our guys really rallied from that point forward, and really happy for Ricky. He was obviously very emotional when that happened, and then after the game, emotional again. And I think his teammates really stepped up in his absence and did a great job tonight. Really gritty win.
There you go. Big win for the Crimson Tide. That's about all the time we have for tonight. We'll hear more from Coach Grant tomorrow. As we roll out of here, let's show you a little video of Mr. Cub himself. It was a somber day at Wrigley Field, and for Cubs fans everywhere, we're watching the, there we go, Mr. Cub. Ernie Banks passed away yesterday. We'll end, as he always ended it, says, let's play 2. Good night, everybody.